I encountered an otherworldly place where wet nurses are highly valued. In this country, healers hold a prestigious status and contribute significantly to the nation's expansion. Many healers gather at the Royal Healing Institute to study advanced healing magic, obtain licenses, and then pursue their individual paths. However, the protagonist, Genos, is an unlicensed wet nurse. Although he lacks a license, his healing skills are as strong as any licensed healer. He also adjusts his fees based on the patient's financial status, charging less to the poor and more to the wealthy. Today, he went out for a house call again. His young maid, Lily, said she would stay home to cook and wait for his return. Shortly after he left, several beautiful girls who were after Genos came to visit. Each harbored thoughts of monopolizing Genos, which led to arguments among them. Lily asked them to make themselves comfortable while she went to cook, adding a mysterious leaf to the soup that made it tastier. Everyone was waiting for Genos to return so they could have dinner together. Meanwhile, Lily remembered she hadn't brought in the laundry yet and asked the others to keep an eye on the cooking. Levi and Linga ended up sneakily sampling the soup. Seeing them enjoying it, Zofia was also drawn in. Outside, Lily finished collecting the laundry and lay down on the lawn for a rest. When she returned, she discovered that the meal had been completely eaten, and the three were blaming each other. Lily smiled disarmingly and asked how they planned to resolve this. The trio continued to feign ignorance and eventually had to admit their guilt, leading to another argument. Lily quickly intervened, warning them that Genos would be upset if they continued fighting. The three immediately behaved themselves and agreed to gather ingredients to help make another batch of soup. Just then, the ghost Camilla appeared and gave them a stern scolding. Fortunately, Lily stepped in to mediate, sending them off to gather ingredients. She wasn't very angry. After all, they could simply make more food. She enjoyed the time living together with everyone, and only hoped to have the meal ready before Genos returned. On his way back, Genos passed by a rabbit-eared girl who seemed to be in pain. Soon after, her master approached, revealing that the girl had gone to a healing institute because of stomach pain, but was turned away for lack of funds. Now, she was about to be punished by her master. The nobleman grabbed the rabbit-eared girl by the ears and took her to a cemetery. Unnoticed by her, a dark mist entered her body. Her master kicked and punched her, demanding she dig up valuable items. Unable to move from pain, the girl suddenly attacked her master, wounding his abdomen, forcing him to flee. He ran into Genos and explained that his slave had gone mad, asking for help. As the girl pursued them, the nobleman claimed he had only sent her to do some farm work before she changed. He said he needed to visit the healing institute and would pay Genos to stop the slave. As the girl charged, Genos pushed the nobleman aside and skillfully dodged a barrage of stones. Impressed, the nobleman urged Genos to deal with the slave, even suggesting he could just buy another if she were killed. However, Genos, being a healer, aimed to save lives. He dodged her attacks and even used a shield to deflect her, causing her to crash into a wall and collapse the structure on the nobleman. Controlled by the dark mist, the girl was in agony. Genos recognized the issue, allowed her to bite his arm, and then healed her. Her wounds healed instantly, and the dark spirit was expelled and purified by Genos. The nobleman crawled from the rubble, begging Genos to heal him. Genos mentioned his work for the day was done, and healing now would cost extra. The nobleman hastily offered a bag of gold coins, but Genos said it wasn't enough as he was an unlicensed healer, akin to a grave robber. The nobleman feigned ignorance, then Genos suggested using the slave as payment. Reluctantly, the nobleman agreed, and after being healed, he handed over the slave contract. Genos stayed to wait for the rabbit-eared girl, named Tyr, to wake up. Upon awakening, he instructed her to undress for a health check. Tyr hesitantly complied, and Genos, assessing her health without magic, diagnosed and removed a gallstone. Tyr knew such skill was not ordinary but decided not to betray her benefactor, instead offering to repay him. Genos had her lead him to a specific herb, which settled their debts. He then gave her the freedom to go wherever she wanted, tearing up the slave contract in front of her. Tyr, unsure where to go, decided to find her way and inform Mr. Genos later. They parted ways. Genos returned home alone. As soon as he entered, Zofia and the others returned with ingredients. Lily led everyone to cook, and Camilla popped up, questioning Genos about his day and noticing a new woman's scent on him. Genos stayed silent, helping Lily fill jars with herbs. Is there really such a thing as pure friendship between men and women? If Hibiki were asked this question, her answer would definitely be yes. She has a male best friend named Natsume, although anyone who sees them together would ask, "Why aren't you two married yet?" Both of them insist they are just friends. Natsume first met Hibiki at a cultural festival in their second year of junior high. He had bet with his parents that he could sell 100 everlasting flower ornaments, but only sold 5 on the first day. Unexpectedly, when he returned to the science club room, he saw a strange girl who approached him very familiarly, telling him that a group of girls had just looked at the products, and she had helped sell 27 pieces. Natsume was shocked, but very grateful to Hibiki. However, he wasn't good at dealing with such a beautiful girl. Hibiki kept asking why he had to sell 100 pieces. Natsume confessed that he dreamed of opening a flower ornament shop, but his parents wanted him to be a civil servant. After a big argument, they said if he could sell 100 ornaments at the school festival, he could follow his dream. Hibiki laughed out loud when she heard this and called Natsume an idiot. She said it's natural for parents to oppose such risky life plans. However, she admired Natsume and decided to help him sell all the flowers herself. The next day, Natsume indeed sold out all the prepared ornaments. 2 years later, he turned it into a side business at the family convenience store, selling ornaments online that had been promoted. After school, he would hide in the clubroom to work on new ornaments. At that time, Hibiki would often suddenly appear, sit on Natsume's lap, and act spoiled. Their way of interacting didn't seem like just friends at all. Natsume let Hibiki stick to him, because they had become best friends since that cultural festival. It was also Hibiki who encouraged Natsume to open the shop directly. She had noticed him long ago, knew he took care of the flower beds in the backyard every day, named each flower, and liked one of the ornaments he made. Her only request in return was that ornament, for which she even used her once-in-a-lifetime request to her brother. So, Natsume had to take responsibility, because what Hibiki loved most was the look in his eyes when he made the ornaments, focused and beautiful. She wanted to monopolize that passionate gaze. As long as Natsume could do that, she would help him sell as many ornaments as needed. Thus, they became a team bound by fate, best friends for each other. Natsume had no reason to refuse, especially since the ornament Hibiki liked was made from goosefoot, symbolizing friendship, cooperation, and inseparability. Although they claimed to be just best friends, Hibiki liked to joke around. She often said that if Natsume hadn't opened his shop by the age of 30, she would take responsibility and marry him. Hibiki's brother even called Natsume brother-in-law all the time. Fortunately, Natsume was indifferent to these teases because he had a first love from a school trip in elementary school. Hibiki always mocked that it might be his delusion and told him to face reality and find a girlfriend. Natsume couldn't help but retort that with Hibiki's clinginess, which girl would dare approach him? Moreover, Hibiki's ex-boyfriends liked to spread rumors about them. Of course, it was all Hibiki's fault since she always talked about Natsume in front of her boyfriends. However, Hibiki quickly changed the topic, saying she was just playing with those ex-boyfriends. Her family, being a prestigious clan, would have her go to arranged meetings with potential matches, likely some greasy old men. Hibiki even teasingly told Natsume that her young body would be touched by those old men, making Natsume feel a bit sorry for her. He said he would secretly protect her when the time came. Hibiki couldn't hold back her laughter and asked if Natsume had read too many novels, questioning who still goes to arranged meetings nowadays. Today, Natsume received another order and became lost in thought as he looked at the shipping address. Actually, the things Hibiki said during the day weren't made up on the spot. They really had an agreement. If Natsume was still single by the time he turned 30, he would simply marry Hibiki. That way, he wouldn't have to worry about being alone and could concentrate fully on opening his ornament shop. After reminiscing, Natsume took the order to the convenience store and asked his sister to help mail it. Meanwhile, Hibiki was continuously promoting his business. Although people always asked her if she was dating Natsume, she consistently denied it, firmly stating that they were just best friends. Her desire to support Natsume's dream stemmed from this friendship, and she only hoped that Natsume's future girlfriend wouldn't mind their relationship. One day, while buying a drink, Natsume encountered a beautiful girl and decided to gather inspiration for new ornaments from her. He accidentally stared at her and suddenly noticed she was wearing one of his ornaments, a style sold at the cultural festival 2 years ago. Just then, the bracelet broke. The girl saw it was damaged and couldn't help crying. Natsume instinctively stepped forward to tell her it could be fixed, but she looked wary. Being socially anxious, Natsume turned and ran away, and the matter was left unresolved. Later, Natsume told Hibiki about the incident. True to form, Hibiki was very curious. They both forgot it was class time. and Natsume ended up getting scolded by the teacher. After school, their science club classroom welcomed a visitor, Shinji, Natsume's good friend, and Hibiki's ex-boyfriend. The two often bickered and treated each other as embarrassing parts of their pasts. Shinji had once dated multiple girls at once, causing Hibiki to face retaliation from his girlfriends. Shinji also criticized Hibiki for accepting confessions out of curiosity, even though she didn't like him, calling it self-inflicted. Naturally, Natsume took Hibiki's side and asked Shinji what he wanted today. Unexpectedly, Shinji asked if Natsume had tried to chat up a girl at the vending machine yesterday, then called that girl over. It turned out Hibiki knew her too. Rin, Shinji's childhood friend, had played with Hibiki a few times as a child, because Rin's sister and Hibiki's brother were classmates. Hibiki then remembered that Rin's sister, a model reader, had helped promote and sell the ornaments the day after the cultural festival. It was very likely the bracelet had come from her sister. Since it was someone he knew and his own creation, Natsume naturally wanted to fix it for her. However, Rin, who seemed aloof but was actually quite clumsy, was the only one who could handle Hibiki. She grabbed Hibiki and began to express her grievances from over the years, complaining that Hibiki had stolen her favorite keychains and toys. Hibiki struggled, and in the midst of her struggle, she began to play mischievously with a plush toy, only to be furiously shaken by an irate Rin. Eventually, Hibiki was left with a sign hanging around her neck, showing a clear handprint on her face. Meanwhile, Natsume focused on repairing the bracelet. Once he entered his work mode, he became oblivious to everything around him. When he finished fixing the ornament, he discovered that the girls had braided his hair. Rin was finally amused and smiled, thanking Natsume as she looked at the restored bracelet. After parting, she asked Hibiki about the boy. At that moment, Hibiki was still proud, believing that no one else could understand the look in Natsume's eyes when he made ornaments. She was reluctant to talk more with Rin. However, Rin's next words left her speechless. Rin always believed that moving creations came from gentle people. She loved the bracelet so much she naturally wanted to know who made it. Although she had never seen him, she felt he was nearby because there were always items he made in Hibiki's photos. Now, having met him, Rin was sure that the person in the videos was Natsume. Hibiki was taken aback, realizing that her belief that only she truly understood Natsume might have just been a self-satisfying illusion.